And we are live here at the event. Welcome back, everyone. I know it's been a couple weeks hiatus. Darrian, how you been, brother?
I'm good, man. It's been so long. You almost forgot your name.
Good, man. An hour is really not enough time for everything that's been going on in sports, and it's like
very strange game that we all love and we follow. I expect to happen, but that's the story of every season.
Right.
But I don't know. We're gonna get to some of the stuff with Tampa Bay in the opening game. Real good, climactic all the way up to the end. So it's a multitude of things.
Right. It was a thriller, man. Down in Baltimore, the Baltimore Ravens versus thoughts from that matchup.
The one thing I said about that game, and we talked about it, amazing running game and the things that Lamar Jackson brings to the table, and they got a nice little solid one with him. They played great. Kansas City, they looked it looked nice, but it was still a stupid decision.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous. He's trying to do another reenactment of the Super Bowl. These two teams are going to be major players at the end of the season. It could definitely be a.
Should we treat that?
Yeah, they were retweeting like what? Like, okay. I don't know if he was trolling or nothing. Like, Super Bowl media nowadays.
Right.
But I enjoyed the game. It was a great way to.
Again, pretty much people was gonna be saying he just can't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And safeties in the league, Tyrann Mathieu, he picked 6-1. Another one, Sammy Watkins just slipped on the John Harbaugh, allowing Lamar Jackson to go out there and get it, putting the ball in your best player hand, and in any situation, in any game, in any playoff game. So they can have a real guy like Lamar Jackson take a stance behind center.
Absolutely, man. Once again, Lamar and his ability to make a play, because he said Lamar's told him, he had to look in the eye of Lamar Jackson proving that he's a franchise quarterback, and that we also have to keep some perspective. The Wednesday last week, which was another good game, by the way, last week's Monday night game. So
Gruden teams that have been starting out well the past couple years, it's about finishing for the Baltimore Ravens. 6 receptions, 113 yards. But the guy that's continuing against Clyde Edwards-Helaire got in the backfield before the tackle could even react. And I just think he's been
the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
That's always been, whether it's been Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, okay. It looked like but it's able to still find a defensive identity, even playoff experience. They have the playmakers and this position. If they can have it, could mean them getting the Super Bowl trip to LA.
Aaron Rodgers that we came to know and love here. A lot of people was kind of writing Aaron Rodgers off in that Week 1 loss, saying that he had lost his little.
I mean, it's no disrespect, but it sounds disrespectful. But he still a professional player, fighting the beginning of the first and into the second half. But
I got a question.
Because I get on Twitter during the games and everybody's talking about the broadcast and how funny it is, which is all right. But I just watched the regular one because Payne's a funny guy. Eli somewhat got the dry humor, which I could admire. But I'm good. I just watch the regular broadcast. If they have funny clips, I watch them and laugh. But I just watch the regular. But once again, it was a decent game for about 3.5 quarters. Then turnovers and Jared Goff just making simple mistakes, and it just got away from him there.
I don't know about that wasn't a good showing for me for Jared Goff that game.
Well, I'd have to agree with you.
Like, he had it really good in LA, and being in Detroit, that's just a very tough situation for him. I hope he could find somewhere else to rebuild his career, because I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I don't think he's one of those quarterbacks that shouldn't be starting. I think he's an NFL starting quarterback. I just think he's in probably the worst situation for Jared Goff.
Well, I think that what you said was kind of everybody's sentiment from the time the trade went down.
Right.
I think it was just a matter of getting him out the way so they could make room for Matt Stafford. Jared Goff is very interesting because a lot of people say, well, he's not a quarterback. But I will give Jared Goff credit because he does have the physical characteristics and the physical makeup. It's just mental that he's kind of lacking.
Right.
And I think if he grows and matures and being out of his comfort zones and somewhat,
right,
in that Detroit system, maybe he can finally get on his own to where he can grow and mature and become a better quarterback that way. Just he's gonna have to take his lumps. He's gonna take his hits.
Yeah.
But maybe it might be better for him in the long run when he's just learning to fly on his own rather than depending on another coach reading the defense for him.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
And a quarterback I kind of want to get to, and this guy's he's off to a very hot start. We're still looking at highlights of Lamar Jackson behind us. But a guy that's kind of having that Lamar Jackson kind of effect down there in Arizona, Kyler Murray. He's been tearing up the league in the first couple of games. He started off hot again last year, but I really think he's found his niche, man. Like, it's very tough to stop him. Like, him in that offense with all those weapons. They have so many weapons. They had this rookie Moore who had over 100 yards receiving this year, this past weekend. They still got guys like Christian Kirk. We all know about DeAndre Hopkins. The Cardinals have everything it takes to be a Super Bowl contender, but they're in the worst possible division to do that. You got to see San Francisco twice, who looks like a juggernaut. You got to see Seattle, who lost a tough game against Tennessee. You know Seattle's going to be at the end of the year. And then all of a sudden, who else is in there? Seattle, San Francisco?
Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona, and the Rams.
The Rams.
LA.
And the Rams was a team who looked like they're the best team in the NFC total. So the only thing that's in the Cardinals' way are their three divisional opponents, but the sky is the limit for that ball club.
Well, I agree. I mean, I was a big fan of Kyler Murray from his days at Oklahoma. I thought he was an amazing quarterback. I felt like he definitely going away the Heisman Trophy winner, the rightful Heisman Trophy winner.
Right.
He wasn't necessarily on the better team because Alabama just got them out of the paint. But Kyler, it's no surprise for me because I knew he had the immense talent. He seems to be translating well to the NFL. He's got an incredible elusiveness. Still able to make amazing throws off the pocket, just flick the wrist. He could just get it downfield with no problem at all. So I'm not shocked at that. I think we talked about the Cardinals many times. The one thing when I look at the Cardinals, I see immense talent on both sides of the ball. Just like you talked. But my one knock is, not the knock. The question is: Cliff Kingsbury, is he the guy to lead them and get them their next step? That's my question. That's been my question. It's going to remain my question. Now, granted, they're on a great tear. They're looking very good right now. But when they really get into the meat of the schedule, when it gets to those close games, when it gets to the situational awareness, tactical, strategic, is he that guy? And I had my questions because I wasn't too fond of the hiring practices and how he got the job.
Right.
But if he is able to prove me wrong with the immense talent that they have, I agree with you. The sky's the limit for Arizona.
They could be a team that could be playing in January. That division is just tough.
Any four other teams, really.
That's tough. I don't remember really ever watching football where I could think of every single team in that division. I wouldn't be surprised if they're represented in the Super Bowl. Every single one of those teams. If San Francisco's in there, I wouldn't be surprised. If the Rams are in there, I wouldn't be surprised. If the Cardinals in there, I wouldn't be surprised. And if the Seahawks make it, I wouldn't be surprised. Every single one of them teams are legitimate Super Bowl contenders.
I have to agree. I'm racking my brain to see try, but like usually, if you get that situation, always one team is like they're going to be in the cellar.
Right.
But you're right, man. It's all four of the NFC West teams. They definitely have. Not everybody has their flaws.
Right. They all have flaws.
They definitely look strong in a lot of key areas. So I agree with you. It's going to be something. It's going to be a dogfight to see who comes out of it.
Yeah, that's going to be a dogfight in that division. Yeah. But the division here is not going to be a dogfight as the Texans, and we took a loss this weekend to the Cleveland Browns, 31-21. Tyrod Taylor got knocked out in around halftime. David Mills comes in, and it looks like David Mills is going to be starting this Thursday as well against Carolina. It's just, I think this is a good situation for the Texans, but not a good situation for Tyrod Taylor. Because long term, we need higher draft picks. We need higher draft capital. But getting those higher draft capital, I'm not too sure about Nick Caserio drafting. Because so far, year one, I'm just not impressed with his draft picks.
Right.
So hopefully the Texans, we don't win too many games. But yeah, I do want to see Tyrod Taylor on the field and getting the opportunity as an NFL starting quarterback and proving himself that he's a reliable guy.
Well, I mean, I know I watched the Jacksonville game, and him and Brandon Cooks in week one,
right?
They had an amazing rapport. I was kind of disappointed we weren't able to do the show because I would love to talk about it, just watching that game and watching just the amazing chemistry him and Brandon Cooks had. Now, granted, it was Jacksonville Jaguars, so everybody does that to him. And everybody's gonna do that to him.
Man, Jacksonville's bad. Man.
Yeah, it's awful over there. But I mean, still professional football players, but. Tyrod, I think we talked about it on the show many times, man. Just has the worst luck of any starting quarterback.
Dude, it's bad.
And every stop he's had He's played really well, played at a starting caliber level, but something catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
And then he's just knocked out the paint, and he's got to start all over somewhere
It's crazy.
else. So my hope is he heals up well. He comes back, and it comes back better than ever because, you hate to see guys who definitely they have the talent, they have the ability, and then it just gets taken away from them. Just not just pull the rug pulled from under them one time. He had it like multiple times. Multiple teams.
You made a point. I don't know if you said it on the show or was it in the conversation. You said Tyrod Taylor has been the quarterback before a lot of teams find their franchise quarterback. It's like a good omen having him on your team.
Exactly. He was in Baltimore before they really they might have they might have been on Flacco already. I think Flacco was already there. But
he was a stopgap guy.
He was a stopgap guy. Then he went from Baltimore to Buffalo. Buffalo, he was a stopgap guy for Josh Allen. That was right before they got him. Right. Even though he played really well and got them back, he was the one that got them to their first playoff berth, at least in 18 years.
Right.
And once again, they made it very clear. The head coach of Baltimore. What's the head coach of Buffalo name?
McDermott?
Yeah, Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott. I don't know why I came to but Sean McDermott made it very clear that, he wasn't fully committed to him as the quarterback. And that's when they got Josh Allen, and pretty much that was the writing on the wall for Tyrod there.
Right.
Then he moves on, goes to Cleveland. Another issue. He ends up on one of the worst teams in NFL history. And from there, they get Baker Mayfield, and that was pretty much right on the wall from there. Then he goes to L.A., the Chargers. Plays really well once again. Then in some freak ridiculous incident of malpractice, that was still getting money for it.
Is he getting paid for that?
I don't know. Somebody said he couldn't because there's a clause in his
before you take that shot.
Yeah. They punctured his lung. Well, I don't even know how the hell you do that.
That's man.
And pretty much opens up the door for Justin Herbert to get in, and he's knocked it down ever since. So now you got the Texans, and you would think this might be a little more stable situation because it doesn't look like Deshaun Watson's going to ever take another snap there.
No, he's done.
Yeah, so I hope for the best for Tyrod. Hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully he can come back because he looked really well in the other games that he played. And as the Texans go, you're a fan of them. I know you're just hoping that everything just kind of works itself out and you guys go through the dark days and leads to a high draft pick of somebody who can change the franchise. But there's a lot of problems as you know with the Texans organization, and that stuff's not going to get fixed overnight.
Yeah, it's not going to get fixed overnight, and it's going to take a couple of years, man. I was really thinking about it. The start of the year, I was kind of excited for a lot of quarterbacks coming out, but after watching a couple of weeks in college football, I'm not too sure.
So you're not buying the buzz?
Yeah, I'm not buying a lot of buzz on some of these guys.
Yeah, what the hell? What's DJ Ukalala?
Right.
Ukulele.
Yeah.
Unga Google.
There's not saying that DJ is not a good quarterback.
I was just coming up with it. I was covering all my bases, man. I know I butchered his name. I'm sorry about that.
Not saying DJ's a bad quarterback, but that's a tough follow. Yeah, you go from Deshaun Watson, then you get Trevor Lawrence, then you get DJ. That's just tough for DJ to fill those two guys' shoes.
He would if he was throwing touchdowns.
Right.
I mean, they're just not scoring, man. I watched the Georgia game, and Georgia had their
Georgia's defense. A problem. That defense is
they played well, but
crazy.
But then I'm watching the Georgia Tech game, and they still ain't scoring. I'm like, what?
Dan Orlovsky made a good point. He said Clemson probably has the worst offensive game plan in the nation. He said they got bailed out a lot by having Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, and that now without those two playmakers at quarterback, that their offense has really been exposed for really being not that potent.
Well, yeah, your offense is going to look not as good when you don't have a superstar quarterback. I mean,
that goes for anybody.
Goes for anybody. That was kind of a Orlovsky.
That's Orlovsky for
but I don't know. I just don't know if it's a confidence issue or maybe Georgia Tech and Georgia just had the two best defenses in the country. And
I doubt that.
Coincidentally, just made it Clemson. So still think that Clemson's going to come out, but I was a little shocked. And going back on other quarterbacks, Sam Howell, he kind of struggled against Virginia Tech in Week 1. Since then, he's looked pretty damn good. I think he's probably the best quarterback in the ACC right now. Probably top 5 in the country. And probably be a top 5 pick when he comes out.
I do like that quarterback out of BYU.
What's it?
Not Zach, the one that.
No, I know Zach. Yes,
he's number 3. He's look like he runs like a 4.3 at quarterback.
I don't know.
He doesn't. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but he has that kind of mold to him, to where he's not going to be the most accurate, but his athleticism can really help the offense.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't stay up late enough to watch them games. it's like 10:30. Who played to like? Because I wake up like early in the morning on Sundays. And, that's when I found the Pac-12 scores. It was like Arizona ended up losing to Northern Arizona and stuff. I'm like, God damn.
Man, there's been a lot of upsets.
One of them big teams losing games. They play at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll do it to you, man.
For real. And I want to get to your Saints, man. I know they lost this weekend against the Panthers, who the Texans are going to see Thursday. It was a complete 180 from how they played the week before, man. Camaro struggled on the ground. Winston really didn't have it going in the air. But Sam Darnold had his coming out party for Carolina. So for Carolina, it's a good news. But for the Saints, what's some of the things you guys, what were some of the struggles from this past weekend?
First off, let me go ahead and comment on Week 1 win.
Right.
I thought we looked great. Once again, as anybody been watching knows that I'm not saying that the Saints are going to be bad, but I said that they were going to have some struggles with a new quarterback. He's still getting his feet wet in the offense, and it's going to be some growing pains here and there. So I'm not particularly shocked that it's been an up and down so far. Week 1, they were dominant because our defense played absolutely great. They gave our offense plenty to work with in terms of field position. That's why James ended up with 5 touchdowns on only 148 yards passing. So that was great. Week 2, one thing that really jumped out at me, besides losing about 8, 9, or 10 assistant coaches to COVID, and of course the numerous key injuries in the secondary. Like Lattimore was gone, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, our starting safety, was gone. Had a couple other, I want to say, 2 D linemen. Marcus Davenport, who played amazing. He gave Aaron Rodgers just absolute hell in Week 1. He was gone. Now he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So other than that, one of the main things that really drew me about the game was Sean Payton, for some reason, in relation to Week 1, did not establish the run game from the jump. And that's before we started when we did the 8 divisions, 8 days thing. Main thing I said, that Saints' biggest key to success is running the ball.
Yes.
Early and often, and staying committed to it.
Yeah.
Week 1, we did that. Week 2, we didn't.
Yeah.
And the reason why was because he got spooked, because the first drive Carolina got on the field, Donald pretty much walked that offense right down the field for a touchdown. Sean Payton got a little too anxious, tried to go blow for blow, which wasn't a good idea because the offensive line was absolutely dreadful, because they had a bad performance too.
Yeah, I heard Brian Burns was...
It was awful. Jameis didn't have much time to throw. Now, granted, Jameis made some pretty bad decisions, but he had pressure in his face all day. It was nothing really he can do. But the thing was, establish the run and then set up for the pass.
Right.
We didn't get that. And because we never got that rhythm, even when we decided to finally start running, the door was shut. Because we were already playing from behind. And I think Alvin Kamara kind of had a – I don't want to cast aspersions to him, but I kind of got the feeling, watching Alvin, that he kind of got like a little bit frustrated.
8 carries for a guy who's one of the top running backs in the league.
Exactly.
That's tough.
That's exactly, especially when you have a new quarterback,
right?
And you have a really solid offensive line. The offensive line for the Saints is about as good as it is in the NFL, particularly our tackles. Now our weakness is the interior guards, but they're also really good run blockers, which even baffled me more because I'm like, well, hey, if our strength is run blocking, run the damn ball.
Run the ball is
hello. So, I don't understand what Sean Payton's game plan was. I think he was a little bombarded with all the extra happenings and not having his assistant coaches and stuff. So they got New England next week. We're gonna see how that works out.
That's gonna be
it's gonna be the first game in the Dome. They're gonna come back to the Dome. Hopefully they get that thing going on. I don't know if you've seen it. There was a fire set at the Dome today.
A fire went off or a fire alarm went off?
No, somebody. I guess it might have been because
they have like pressure washers on top of the dome. Like they have people that pressure wash every day, like wash the dome. And what the rumor is, somebody was smoking a cigarette, threw it down into like one of the gutters on the side of the stadium, and that son of a bitch just went up in flames. So yeah, it's if anybody looks up, Superdome fire, big ass fire on the side, yeah.
Hey man,
it's always something, man.
He got tired of pressure wash. He said, "Man, he's
I mean, you can get a smoke break, man, but damn, you damn near burn the stadium now. Whole side of the stadium just charred to a crisp, man. It's not like a huge note. It's like because when you look at the top of the Superdome, on the side, like the very edge is like these gutters.
Right.
The gutters are big as hell. They're like as big as this whole area here.
Damn.
So, and yeah, all that went up in smoke. So it's all charred and black, but you can't notice it. But it's definitely embarrassing. Most stuff it's feeling something happens every week with this damn team. That's why emotionally I just like kind of check out. Like I'm not invested all the way. I love the Saints.
Right.
But I know that based on the past 3-4 years, particularly in January, just don't put your heart into it, man. Because it's gonna stomp on you. They're gonna stomp on it, and they're gonna throw it in some damn mud, man.
Have the Saints really stomped on your heart, or have the NFL stomped on your heart more? As far as like the officiating, because
I mean, the only time I could say that is one time, the NFC Championship game.
Right.
But even then, you know, they still should. I don't even want to get.
Yeah.
I'm not big on the refs or blaming the refs or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that the Saints, I hold a lot of accountability issues to them because there's been times where they could have did something different than a lot of those playoff games.
Right.
Particularly all the other games, even the Rams game. There's different things they could have went that those games would have went a different way. So no, I don't blame the officiating, man. I blame the Saints. That's why I just emotionally just detached. It's better for my health, man. You know, I gotta look out for my peace.
I emotionally detached for the Texans after that. We was up like what 28-0, 21-0 against the Chiefs. After that comeback, what was that score we was up?
Oh yeah, it was like 21-0.
Yeah, 21-0.
Y'all got up too early though.
My thing in that game was I never understood how we had J.J. Watt. We still had Clowney at the time. No, we traded Clowney. And we had 0 sacks being up 21 points. That makes no sense to me. You know they're going to drop back and pass it almost every play. How you got J.J. Watt, you can't get no pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's crazy. Ever since then, I say, you know what, with the Texans, I'm low-key a Bengals and the Ravens guy. Those are my
You had like the Bengals and the Ravens. That's conflict of interest, man. They're both in the AFC North.
Yeah.
So mama ain't gonna like that. Man. She knows she love the Steelers, and she just said me text to stop cussing. I'm trying, mama. Okay, I'm you know.
I'm working.
Apparently, I said some vulgar word. Once again, you know they know that my language is not representative of the people at Maxx Sports TV.
And huge shout out to Maxx Sports, by the way, man. Zachary 4 days behind the camera. Maxx Sports putting on great production quality, man. We can't thank you guys enough for your hard work. And yeah, man. Moving on. Moving on. Some other NFL news, man. I was going to say the Seattle Seahawks. I'm watching the game between them and the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans came back and won that game. Derrick Henry, man, problem, bro.
Yeah, Big Frankenstein is going to run that rock, man. So, yeah, he was definitely dominant. I'm glad you brought that game up. This is something I seen. I didn't watch the game. I actually seen the press conference where Pete Carroll kind of threw Russell Wilson under the bus a little bit. He basically said that because, you know, he was like he wished Russell had kind of checked down on a couple of plays in overtime because he finished 0 for 2 in that overtime. He didn't get any completions because he missed 2 throws and I think he was sacked. But, yeah, so I'm like, man, what are you throwing him under the bus for? And then somebody said on NFL Live, I think it might have been Ryan Clark, he said, well, you know, hey, he was talking trash about the organization and all.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
This might be Pete Carroll's chance to get some get back.
Right.
Like, well, you're gonna say something about us, we'll say something about you.
I mean, and Pete Carroll, he's done this before with the Legion of Boom. Mm-hmm. You know, he's kind of came out in press conferences and said some things about the guys, and all of a sudden, one by one, those guys started getting off the team. Now, I'm not saying that the Seahawks are looking to trade Russell Wilson immediately, but I'm from stuff that I read and I hear. I watch a lot of Colin Cowherd. He's connected. Pete and Russ, there's a little division there. There's a little ego building up between both of those guys. So I don't know how much longer that marriage is going to last over in Seattle, but it's slowly coming to an end.
Yeah, I mean, we could see the end coming near during the offseason when he was making those comments.
Right.
I think that almost to the sense that as you try to adjust your posture.
Man, my posture. I've been working on my posture.
I know, bro. I'm short. I ain't got. But yeah, man, it does seem like it's coming to an end because, I know that Russ has denied about not wanting to be traded.
Right.
But as the old saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. Somebody was speaking and somebody was saying something.
Right.
So, me personally, I want as much drama because I still want him on the Saints. I
take him on the Texans right now.
Well, most teams would take Russell Wilson. You ain't really saying much. We need him because we need the quarterbacks.
Right.
But I think that this might be nearing the end because he's probably the last real piece of that championship team still left, other than Carroll.
Right.
Pete Carroll, honestly, I think he needs to go before Russell because Pete is just old. He's the oldest coach in the league.
Yeah.
You damn near 95 years old. Him and Betty White got the same birthday.
Damn.
I made it up.
Oh, I was about to say.
But he's up there. I mean, I think Pete. He's. I think the game's passed him by. I think it's time for him to go.
Yeah.
But Russell, and I'm definitely telling him to go before I let Russell Wilson leave.
That's true.
But yeah.
And, as the game's passing Pete by, there's a lot of youth being injected to the league. Something I was really noticing watching this past couple of weeks in NFL football, man, is these young quarterbacks. Most of the sophomores, guys like Jalen Hurts, Tua, Justin Herbert, especially. I really think before it's all said and done, by the end of this year, Justin Herbert could be a top 5 quarterback in this league. If the Chargers could, find a way to put the pieces around him, but him as a pure talent by himself, in my opinion, could be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like I already said, Tua, just these sophomore quarterbacks in general, I've been very impressed. I think a lot of teams have found their guys. And there's some other teams like Chicago and San Francisco who have young guys waiting in the ranks who look to be doing pretty good as well. Justin Fields got a little run this past weekend against the Bengals. I like to see him out on the field a little bit more. Just, what's some of your takeaways of some of these new up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL?
Oh, well, I have to agree with you, man. I think the game is moving so much faster that these guys pretty much have to be impactful at a faster rate.
Right.
Now, Justin Fields, I had a whole rant on that, the Andy Dalton situation.
Man, I don't see why they don't start Fields.
They already said because, Dalton injured, and Matt Nagy already said, he quoted saying that as soon as he's healthy, he's coming back and he's going to take the starting job again. So, Fields.
What's up with that? Like,
we talked about it.
I don't get that.
He promised him, Troy. He promised that man. He promised. He told.
That's
he
a
told
lot
him,
of promises
hey,
in the NFL. That
I promise you, man. I have my word. I give you my word.
Is he worried about what? Like, if he breaks Andy Dalton's word, what that's going to do to him?
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be the only doggone explanation, man. And I'm looking. I'm like, what has Andy Dalton done? What has he done to even warrant me telling him I'm going to promise him? First off, let me say this. If Andy Dalton had any pride whatsoever, which apparently he don't, if he had any pride whatsoever as a man, I'm going to sit there and I'm telling him, I don't need you to promise me that I'm going to be the starter.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to come into your building and I'm going to take that job. That's my job to win it. I'm going to win it.
Right.
I don't need you to give me pinky swears and cross your heart, hope to die. I don't need all that. Nothing in writing. Let me come in and show you that I'm the best quarterback on your roster. If he had any type of integrity in that situation, that's what he would have did. But no, he wanted to be promised. he wanted a man give him his word. Pinky squaring, man. This league going to hell, man. Going to hell in the handbasket. But
that was true, man. That was a good point you just made, man.
But I'm just, it's not like Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Okay, if he. But he's probably gonna win the job outright anyway.
He's gonna win the job.
What has Andy Dalton done? Get somebody, please. What has Andy Dalton done in his 10-year NFL career?
I can't find it.
Not a thing.
I don't know.
He didn't win a playoff game.
Yeah, I think that's the only team we beat in the playoffs outside of
exactly.
He was last a couple years ago.
Oh man, Matt Nagy. And listen, I do respect him. I say this. I do respect him for holding on to his word. and
Right.
being a man of integrity.
Right.
Because like you were about to say, before I rudely interrupt you, 'cause
No, you didn't rude it. You're good, bro.
you don't see in the league too many people keeping their word.
Right, right.
You don't. It's very rare. So I do respect that aspect. But he chose the wrong person to do it on.
I just, if there's ever a chance for Matt Nagy just to renege something he said, that probably one of them.
Well, no, because I mean, he clearly he doesn't, because he's steadfast in it right now.
Right.
Because he didn't have to make that comment. He
Yeah,
could
he
have just
did.
said, well, whatever happens. He went out of his way to say that Justin Fields is going back to the bench once Andy Dalton is back on the mend.
I don't know.
I
I don't get that situation.
I mean, it's whatever, man. It ain't my team, so I really don't. I don't care.
That's the Chicago Bears. That's why they never had a franchise quarterback for a reason, I guess.
Oh.
So moving on to a team who I think really has found a franchise quarterback, the team that the Bears beat, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals. They did lose against the Bears this past weekend, but I was still very impressed with that defense. Putting Trey Hendrickson, Jesse Bates. I could go on and on about all those guys on that defensive end. They all fit and play very well together. But then on the offensive side, Joe Burrow and those weapons, I'm telling you, the Bengals have a chance to make a very strong wild card playoff run. I'm not putting them in the playoffs, but I think they could be one of them teams that can sneak in at the end of the year as a wild card team and be a very dangerous team. Because Joe Burrow in any stadium, no matter where you at, once he's cooking, the Bengals live against anybody.
Well, as an LSU fan, I could say that firsthand. I'm very proud of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, man.
Hey, truth.
We talked about all the issues and the struggles he had in preseason, man. He shut some people up these first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
He's already at 22 yards a catch right now.
Yeah.
He's a dynamic playmaker, like we all knew he'd be. He's translating well. So they had the tough game. They had a tough outing against Chicago, which Chicago's still pretty good defense, and they're still young guys. But I think I'd agree with you. I do still expect some big things in the coming weeks and coming years for Cincinnati, and they're in a good position. They have the star quarterback, and they have the star wide receivers again. So
that was really one of them tougher division games. It's not like they see Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks a lot of times.
Right,
I think that was the left tackle
Roquan
first
Smith.
time
Yeah.
seeing those type of guys in front of them. So
well, hold on. No, you can just. I mean, they are in the division with Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Cleveland. There's still some tough defense.
Yeah, they're tough defenses like T.J. Watt and those guys, but it's a different animal to go against that guy live and to understand his tendencies. Like your first time against Khalil Mack is like, holy crap, you know what I mean?
Right, because you're not familiar with him.
Right.
I could look at Minka Fitzpatrick and
right.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, division. Yeah, you're right.
You see T.J. Watt twice a year. Probably after the
Myles Garrett.
after the third or fourth time, they're still tough. They're still problems, but you kind of have a feel for how they're going to play. You see Khalil Mack and the Bears once every 3-4 years, so it's just a little bit of adjustment. And we're also gonna move on to a little college football, man. You was talking about Alabama and the Florida game, how it was a very close and contested game. I really want to ask this question about Alabama, man, because it's been about over a decade and a half. Is this the greatest sports dynasty of the 21st century? Like,
it's up there. I mean, American sports
dynasty.
We don't watch European soccer.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I apologize. Is this the greatest American sports dynasty of the 21st century?
21st. Well,
because
the only ones is the Patriots, obviously. So,
right.
And they've had a run. Now, granted, there was a gap. There seemed like it's two different Patriots dynasties, because the early 2000s and then the later years, like 14 through 17, 18. Then you got the Golden State Warriors, who had their 4 or 5 year run. It's definitely the longest and most consistent.
Right.
I mean, you talk about, I can't remember last time Alabama wasn't in the top 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I really can't.
This is what they're on. The run that Alabama is on, I don't think we're ever going to see anything like this again in any other sport.
Right. I haven't seen.
I haven't seen other than the Celtics in the '60s.
Right.
Maybe Golden State for that little 3-year run, but this Alabama, this train's been going for about.
Yeah. Don't forget the Yankees in the early part of the 20th century. For those who just a little bit of baseball talk.
That's
we say it in the theme song. We talk baseball too. I don't think we even talk about somebody swinging a damn bat. But Yeah, I mean,
We gonna get to baseball.
I'm trying to teach you the ins and outs of the game because I know you tell me you don't even know the rules, let alone
I don't
about MLB. But I know a little something.
I know the high school rules, but as far as
It's pretty much the same. It's just got bigger stadiums and it's a wooden bat. I mean, it ain't much. But going back to Alabama, yeah, it's like just in terms of longevity and don't forget the Spurs too. I'm sorry,
Spurs UConn's women's basketball.
Yeah, it's UConn women's basketball has been, but they've been knocked off a couple times. But Alabama is just
it's crazy. They continue to dominate year in and year out, recruit the best of the best.
Right.
Especially now with this new NIL rule, I don't think that's going to change. I think Alabama's going to become even more dominant. Guys are going to want to compete against the best throughout every day in practice. And I don't really see a team, maybe Georgia this year, that can really knock off Alabama.
Well, I don't want to start that rant that I started downstairs when we were talking about it, but I feel I should because that's probably why you wanted me to bring up why you want us to bring up the Florida and Alabama game. This is a testament to how people view Alabama compared to everybody else.
Right.
Alabama played Florida. Florida is the 11th ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
They played them in Gainesville, in the Swamp. Anybody who understands or follows college football knows the Swamp, Florida Stadium, is one of the toughest places in college football to play. They came out and they won by 2. So because of that, people are sitting here questioning, well, is Alabama really that good? Is Alabama? And I'm looking, I'm like,
they went to the Swamp.
They went into the Swamp against the number 11 team in the nation with a quarterback who, mind you, not Mac Jones, not Tua, not even Jalen Hurts. This is a guy who just started making his first real road start because the Miami game was neutral.
Right.
And they won. But yeah, people are like, well, are they really that good? Hello?
They won a great day.
Yeah. Once again, I don't even want to start an issue with Florida fans because I see a lot of them. Because I follow a few, and then a couple I don't follow, but they end up on my damn Twitter timeline anyway. They're on there celebrating, and one of the worst things in sports to me are moral victories. I can't stand moral victories.
I hate moral victories, man.
So you got these people
exactly.
clapping like a bunch of damn silly seals because they lost by 2 points in their own building. Talking about, we can't wait till we see you in Atlanta down the road.
I don't even think they're gonna make it to Atlanta.
Exactly, yeah, because
Georgia.
You got to beat Georgia first and foremost. But even if they do, so your comeback is after they beat you in your backyard, we're gonna see you where we don't have home field advantage anymore, and you're probably even better than what you were when we played your first time.
Like maybe 75% Bama fans there anyway.
Jesus, it's just.
I don't know.
I mean, more of it. Just sad. I mean, the Florida fan base. They've. I could do a whole comedy routine on the people, but Alabama is still as dangerous as they have ever been.
Right.
But it's even more scary because they came into a tough environment with little to no experience in some key positions and still dominated. Not just the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Running back position, they had new guys. Wide receiver position, they had new guys, and they still produced.
They still play very well.
Exactly,
and it's scary, man. I just don't see nobody really knocking off Alabama this year. Maybe Texas A&M has a shot. Maybe
nobody's
knocking.
I had to stick that one. You guys get your quarterback situation, but listen, I'm in the same boat.
Right.
I can't stand the bastards either.
Yeah,
but I have to give respect where it's due.
Right.
There's a certain level of consistency and dominance that goes with Alabama. And as long as they're playing with inexperienced guys and still winning big games in tough environments, you cannot make an argument as to who is the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing that. No other team could win in a tough environment, and then people come out saying, well, are they really that good? Have they taken a step back? It's amazing.
How'd you feel about that UCLA game, man? That versus LSU?
They got their ass whooped. That's what that was. I mean,
would you say that
they weren't ready to play?
This LSU group
Yeah.
hasn't really been through the SEC fire yet.
Right.
That really put those guys where LSU football normally is. That's what I felt like that game was. I feel like everybody's expecting this LSU group to be where most LSU teams normally are. Guys that's played multiple SEC games and they could beat a team like UCLA very easily. I think these guys, they really haven't played no other Division I opponents like that. So even a team like UCLA was kind of a shock of the speed and the athleticism and the talent on the other end. Whether then, when you're seeing teams like Georgia and A&M week in and week out, you're used to seeing talent like that.
Well, I get your point. Once again, I just chalk that up as them not respecting UCLA. UCLA came up with a great game plan. It was simple, but it was effective. Show different looks to Maxx Johnson. Show different blitzes. Absolutely discombobulate them. That's what they did. Not only that, they took advantage of the fact that our offensive line is shaky at best. They plugged those holes. They pretty much stifled our running game. They made us one-dimensional. And to the point, the one dimension that we were supposed to be and supposed to use, we weren't even good at that.
Yeah.
So I give all the credit to UCLA. They utilized their run game. They were absolutely the more physical team. They looked like they wanted it more. They were more energetic. I don't know what it felt like the first touchdown LSU had. LSU scored first. Once they scored, it's like they almost let their guard down. Like,
they thought UCLA would give up.
Because that's how I noticed how they felt. Because that's how most of us as fans of LSU felt. It's another Pac-12 team coached by Chip Kelly.
Right.
We're going to beat their brains in.
Right.
So we had that mentality, and then once they got down the field, got that touchdown, they pretty much thought, hey, it's whatever. And it wasn't, because right after they punched UCLA in the mouth, UCLA punched them in the mouth, the gut. Kicked them in the knees, kicked them in the ass.
They turned it to a street fight after
that. Exactly.
It
was a beat down of every proportions. So I don't want to say that they needed that, because
I think it was good for them, those youngsters.
Not for us. I mean, shoot, it was good until they lost to Fresno State. Now it's not as good anymore. Fresno State beat them, so it don't look as good anymore.
Yeah,
which leads me to believe that when you had a game like that, it was just them not respecting the opponent the way they should have and not being ready to play.
They probably thought they was going to walk in there and just...
and let's be real. If you look at UCLA last couple of years, that probably was a sound judgment to make.
Right.
But you shouldn't as a team. As a fan, you can, because I'm not playing. I didn't play a damn step in that game. But as a player, you should always respect your opponent, always be ready to play, always be physical, always be energetic. And I feel like LSU was lacking in a lot of those avenues, and that's why we got the result we got that Saturday. So,
and speaking of results, USC they wasn't happy too much with the results of their previous head coach. They fired him. That is an open job, and I will say, in my opinion, just my opinion, USC head coaching job is a top 5 football job in America. Period.
I agree.
It's like Cowboys, USC, UT. Who else? Alabama. Like,
are you saying top 5 like in sports, or just top 5 in college football?
In football.
Oh, okay.
Football.
You said the Cowboys.
Yeah, like in football.
Oh, you saying football, pro and?
Yeah, period.
Well, I don't know, man.
Who would you?
NFL team, and NFL. There's about 5-6 NFL teams. If you called me, I'd take over USC.
Who? Okay.
Anyone on the West Coast? Because
Cowboys.
At that point, it's just about the weather. You're gonna get wait up. You're gonna get a big time. Now USC's gonna pay good,
right?
But it's not like NFL payday quite like in most cases.
You seen what Jimbo got from A&M?
Well, y'all try to sell them to half the damn school. I'm not talking about that, man. I'm just speaking on a regular basis of college teams.
Right.
But I mean, you still want to be an NFL head coach. Most, the ultimate goal is being a pro football head coach.
Right.
But no, I agree. Top 5. I mean, maybe even top 3 college football destination, because of not just the amazing history, but the weather is nice and the amazing recruiting area.
They got the best quarterback recruiting area in the country.
Yeah, so it's definitely a big time job. Why, do you have somebody in mind who's going to take it?
Eric Bieniemy. I think he should be the first call they make.
Eric
Bieniemy, and the second call I would make, because of how things are today with the new NIL rule, the way social media is today. I would give Deion Sanders a call if I'm USC. And I would build a great coaching staff around him.
You better not call Deion.
Why not?
Man, listen. I admire Deion for what he's doing, but some people did you not? Here's the thing with Deion. Now, so far so good at Jackson State.
Right.
I give him credit. They look like they're decent, but Deion has a very shaky history. He's been involved in a couple of instances of some recruiting violations with players.
You don't got to worry about that no more.
No, but then he also his prime academy when he had a charter school. Mm-hmm. Now it wasn't necessarily a Bishop Sycamore thing.
Yeah.
Which once again, I hate that the show ain't going because it's been more ridiculous, stupid stuff that whole story.
That shit was funny.
But Deion has a very shaky history with his prime academy. It was called the Prime Academy. It was a sanctioned charter school, and it had a bunch of Now, it might be because the financial backing or whoever was supposed to help him financially didn't stick with him, but it was a lot of shaky stuff that kind of leads me to think, I don't know. I don't know if I didn't trust my college football program to Deion quite yet. I think I got to give him a little more time at Jackson.
Okay.
But number two, if I'm Deion, he's probably gonna want to go back to Florida State.
Florida State, who
because that look like that's gonna open up
man,
too.
bro.
So
they lost to somebody on the last play, man.
Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
On the last play, I was like, that's not a good look for Notre Dame right now either.
No,
because Notre Dame went toe to toe with Florida State, and I thought, I never think too much of Notre Dame, but I thought maybe like, okay, Florida State might be, could put up a fight.
Right.
And then I seen them lose to Jackson State, and I'm like, nah. They Notre Dame is probably going to go undefeated again, and is going to get right back in the top four.
Who they play? Purdue?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
They get to pick their schedule, everybody.
Yeah.
By not being affiliated with a conference, they get to handpick their teams. So congrats to Notre Dame on another cupcake schedule.
There's another name I want to throw out for the USC job. Joe Brady.
Joe Brady?
Mm-hmm. He's offensive coordinator right now in Carolina. If I'm USC, those are like 3 calls I'm making. Of course, everybody's saying the Urban Meyer thing, but I just don't see Urban Meyer leaving Jacksonville with, he just
Why not?
You just got Trevor Lawrence.
I don't mean anything. Listen, man. How many? We could go back in recent memory. How many of these college coaches, these great college coaches, tried to make the leap to the NFL? Mm-hmm. Now, granted, because I just said it, the NFL is the pinnacle. Most coaches, that's where they want. When you're a high school coach, middle school coach, most of them dream to get that dream NFL job.
Right.
So
right.
I can't knock them for that. But how many times have we seen even some of the best college coaches with amazing success, national championships, how many times we've seen them make that leap to the NFL and then immediately be like, nah, this is not for me,
right?
And I got to go.
Right.
Because they're not used to losing it. Urban Meyer is not used to losing. This is a new experience for him.
Yeah.
Everywhere he's gone, from Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State, it's been success.
Winning.
So
he used to win it like what, about 85, 90%, something.
Exactly. So being, and then it's a different dynamic when you're a college coach as opposed to pros, because college you're the head honcho, you're the top guy. Pro, you're still head guy on the team, but you still answer to the media, still answer to your general managers, still answer to the.
You're more so like a presidential type.
Yeah, you're a figurehead in a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's still your schemes and stuff like that, but you're still under the thumb of somebody else, which is not so much the case in college, because granted, you have an athletic director, but I know plenty of colleges that even the head coach oversees the athletic director, because he's the
athletic director,
symbol of the program.
He just makes sure the money flows straight.
Exactly. So it's just a totally different animal, and I think why we see so many of these college coaches make the jump to the NFL and come right back, because they're not used to it. It's a blow to their egos.
Right.
Because most of them have egos. So I'm gonna say that he's gonna try, but I wouldn't be shocked if he just says,
if he goes to USC, they go, man, he'll turn that program around for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for 3-4 years, then he'll have a cardiac event. No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to cast aspersions and make allegations that somebody is over embellishing his heart issues. But, it seems to happen whenever he started losing, right? You remember?
Yeah.
Very, very conveniently, right after Tebow left, that happened. And then once again, I'm not gonna make no allegations. I'm gonna try to keep professional. Once again, my opinions do not reflect the views of Maxx Sports TV.
Yes, sir. They got this game going on behind us, man. I was looking at Teddy Bridgewater. I just want to ask your opinion, man. I'm so happy for Teddy Bridgewater. That first game, I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know Teddy was like that. He was making some throws that I haven't seen him make throws like that since Louisville.
Well, a lot of people don't remember, man. Teddy had, when he was in Minnesota, had a grueling injury in Minnesota. It was a non-contact injury to his leg. I can't remember exactly what happened. It might have been his knee tore or something like that. So he was pretty much out of the game for a good 2 years.
Right.
So when he came back, he not only had to get himself back in game shape, but he had to get himself back mentally as well as physically. What we're seeing year by year with him is continued improvement. When he came to the Saints, I thought it was great because you had a great team around him, plus you had Sean Payton and Drew Brees giving him that guidance and helping him with his confidence as well. And it did, because when he came out, a lot of people who are Saints fans, I'm speaking to, Teddy Bridgewater, when he played for us and we went undefeated, a lot of people say, well, he didn't have great numbers and the defense carried him. Somewhat true, but one thing that Teddy Bridgewater did that he continues to do now that was vital to our success was Teddy knew how to take care of the football.
Right.
He's careful. He doesn't fumble, doesn't throw interceptions. He's smart. He knows when to take. He knows how to take what the defense gives him, which most people would say game manager.
Right.
But in his case, it worked because that's him getting his confidence back, but still being a guy who's not going to hurt you when he's on the field. He's not a hindrance. He's not going to be gaudy 350 to 400 yards like Drew Brees, 4 touchdowns, but he's going to be effective in the ways that he's not going to hurt you.
Right.
Now we've seen when he went to Carolina, still some improvements. Had improvements in his passing, improvements in his accuracy, and completions. Now it didn't work because Carolina just, they wanted something.
They lost
different.
Christian McCaffrey. That was
Christian McCaffrey, and everything just kind of went to hell. Now he's in Denver. Now he's in a situation where he's the guy, and he's had another.
He didn't need a promise to be the starting quarterback.
He didn't need a promise, Danny Dalton. He got it on his own, but he became the guy, and he's continued to improve. He's continued to be a better passer, be a smarter passer. He's just being a person who can make those plays, read the situation, come up with solutions. He's a smart, cerebral quarterback.
Right.
And he doesn't get enough credit for it, and he's getting better at it. So I think that's where the success is coming from in terms of Teddy Bridgewater, and I think he's only going to get better. Now, is he going to be a 5,000-yard passer?
Nah.
That's not Teddy Bridgewater's game.
Nah.
Never has been, never will be. He could, but I'm not going to put that on him.
I think he's like the perfect quarterback that can go to a Super Bowl with a great defense in today's NFL.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
because
we talked about that. We had a conversation about that too. And Denver has a really good defense. I think they could make a run. It's going to be tough. It's a tough division too. We talked about and AFC West might be the same thing because you got Denver, the Chargers, LA, and the Chiefs,
and Oakland. I mean Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be tough to come out of the division. But but I think Denver's going to be a tough out for those other 3 teams as well. They're going to give them a tough game. Nobody's a cupcake in that division either.
The NFL, I don't know if I would say because it changes every year. Should the NFL do away with the whole division thing? Because I don't know.
I know where you're going with it. But they do it for the rivalries.
The rivalries.
2 times a year they want those type of games. It's got to be the Cowboys and the Giants because we can put them on Monday and Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm tired. I hate those 2 play on Sunday Night Football.
But I mean, yeah, that's why the NFL does it. It's a rivalry thing, and it's kind of setting up with the. But the way they're constructing the playoffs now is not even going to matter.
I think they should probably have a division winner. I get that automatically in, but
right.
Either expand the playoffs somehow, but because there's going to be a division this year that's going to have like a 10-win team that missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and there's going to be a division with a 6-win team getting a home field playoff game. And I'm like, I don't know.
I've always wanted to do away with that. I don't think winning the division should. I'm okay with them getting you a
playoff game,
but I think the home and away should go to best record. I just never understood that because I remember they got us like that in 2010. Mm-hmm. When the Saints went like 11-5, but the Falcons had won the division.
Oh, don't even start.
And then, that's not even that.
They wasted that.
Once again, I could do a whole nother.
They wasted that 4th pick.
I said that. What?
That Bro,
A tight end. They don't even target.
they was in the red zone
Yes.
multiple times. I forgot what he was playing. I think he was playing Philly. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, let me check out this new tight end they got. I'm like,
They looked even worse against Tampa Bay too.
yeah, and I'm like, wait, all right, then I looked at my phone. Is he hurt? I checked my phone. I was like,
Right.
man, if he on injured reserve or something,
Nope.
hold on, what's going on? Did I miss something? I'm like, all right, maybe they got him split out wide. I'm get back in the red zone. Nothing. I'm like, so why they drop this kid number 4 if he not even in the red zone, third down situation? He finally caught a couple of passes throughout the game, but I'm like, he couldn't get on the field over Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo.
The only thing, hey, I didn't make the pick, man.
I know you.
I didn't make the damn. Let me tell you something. I already told you what my theory was.
Right.
Terry Fontenot,
Yeah.
the new GM of the Falcons, was in the front office of the Saints last year. Had been there for many years. Now they hired him. Yeah, listen. I don't want to say sabotage, but it smell like sabotage. You know what I'm saying? But walk like a duck, quack like a duck.
I'm like,
it ain't a damn platypus.
Put that, man. This kid supposed to be the next Shannon.
Well,
Sharp
they
player.
got to come up with a better scheme, man. And then you got to
Michael Finley, and
You also-
I don't even see him on the field.
exactly you got to also take into account the limitations of Matt Ryan right now, because Matt Ryan is
They
even
should have
older
put
than
Justin
Justin
Fields. He was sitting right there.
Once again,
quarterback from Atlanta, hometown guy.
not my
Sitting right there waiting on you.
Not my decision. Not my decision. I'm glad they didn't make the decision, because I don't want to deal with another young quarterback.
Right.
So, Falcons going Falcon, man. Falcons going Falcon. At least they got it.
I didn't mean to throw you off, but that was just
No, I'm not throwing it. I don't mind clowning these people.
the Falcons, man. I don't get that decision at all, man.
You're not gonna get a lot of stuff they do, man. Some
And-
teams just meant to be in the bottom of the standings, and that's fine.
And as we get ready to wrap up here on the event, we do have so much things coming up, man. We are doing KDC International Basketball every Sunday afternoon live here on Maxx Sports TV. Huddle up with us on Thursday with Bob Sovek and Jason, the Consummate Pro.
Wait, Thursday? I thought that was Wednesday.
Thursday. It's Thursday. It's
Okay,
Thursday.
man. I wasn't at the show, so my apologies.
It's Thursdays. Every Thursdays they're gonna have it at Sawyer Park. Also, we have scheduled the event for Tuesdays. That's set in stone. We're gonna be doing the event every Tuesday.
Okay.
We like I said on Maxx Sports TV, man. We got so much going on. A huge shout out to JJ Redick, retiring from the NBA after 15 long years. The greatest shooter in Duke history, letting it go. I'm Gentre Williams, Darrian Valsin. We signing off. Till next time, y'all. Peace and love. Y'all have a great night. We out.